What is going on, everybody? How y'all doing tonight? Welcome to another edition of Joe's News and Views, giving you this conservative news. I just seen everybody response. I got you, Jerry. I promise you the next time I have an in call, you are gonna be the first one. I promise you, bro. I got you. So let's jump right into it for all my people on all my platforms, Periscope, YouTube, and my Facebook page as well. Uh, if you support the channel, please don't hesitate to donate. Uh, Cash out Joshua Joel Davis. Again, cash out $ Joshua Joel Davis is going across the screen. If you like my content on YouTube and are you live right now watching me on YouTube, please hit the like button. If you're first time looking at the channel, also don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button as well. So we're going to get into it tonight. We are going to talk about the 3Ds when it comes to police brutality accusations. We're going to talk about Daniel Prude, the Deon Dijon Kizzee case. We're also going to talk about Trump, Nancy Pelosi's drama, and a whole lot of other news with Joe Hidden, Joe Hyden, excuse me, and all that stuff. So we're going to jump right into it. So I'm going to talk about the three police brutality assumptions that has happened over the weekend. What's up, Rod Singh? Thank you for joining the channel, man. Definitely, I appreciate you. Thanks for joining the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm going to jump right into it. Not even going to uh, BS on it. All right. So this week we have had three unfortunate incidents related to an accusation of police brutality. Now, in these three instances, everybody has acted on emotion, screaming out that the cops were at fault. Black Lives Matter started screaming, doing their thing. Well, I hate to say this, but it looks like the new face, possibly of the Black Lives Matter situation, since the other ones ain't panned out the way they wanted to, is probably going to be Daniel Prude. Now, before I jump into the others, I'm going to tell y'all about Daniel Prude's case. I can't show Daniel Prude's video, unfortunately, since I am streaming on YouTube. And because of YouTube's community policies, they're quick to snatch it down. But what I can tell you is this. Daniel Prude is was visiting his brother Joe up in Rochester, New York. While visiting his brother in Rochester, New York, all right, his brother started experiencing that his brother, give me 1 second, guys. He started experiencing that his brother was under duress. So, with him having an episode, being under duress, he decided to go ahead on and call the police to help assist to get his brother under control. Now, when they got there, this was all in March, his brother was like literally um out there in the street, butt naked, having a hallucinating episode. Because of this, okay, the cops went and started proceeding to try to get him calmed down. Well, further along into the situation, he started busting out talking about that he had COVID-19. Now, when someone tells you they have COVID-19, especially up north, it is protocol to go ahead on and put a cover over their face, which is like a look like a hood thing, but it's not. It's basically where they can breathe still, and it's to stop any kind of bodily fluids spilling out. Well, when they did this, uh, they still trying to get him calmed down, still trying to subdue him. He's having this episode. He's fighting them physically, not trying to comply. They had his knee on his back. They didn't have it on his neck, but on his back, trying to keep him still. Well, somehow, some way, him not either breathing properly or whatever, went to the hospital, went into a coma. A few days later, died. Right, week later, died. Well, when they did the report on how he died, they put on the report it was due to um, the hallucination that he was going through, the panic attack, or whatever he was going through because of the drugs, and also to the asphyxiation. And they ruled it as a homicide. Well, since they ruled it as a homicide, everybody jumped up and assumed that it was the police fault. Now I'm going to tell y'all on these autopsy reports what homicide means. Homicide does not necessarily mean that they were murdered by the actual physical doing of someone at that present time. Homicide could mean that the person got, let's say for instance, somebody overdosed off of heroin and it was laced with fentanyl. They're gonna put that over. They're gonna put overdose slash homicide. So that basically saying, okay, yeah, they OD, but they OD because of whoever gave it to them. Knew it was laced with fentanyl. That's considered homicide. Same thing with going on with the cops when they put with the homicide on the report. It wasn't saying the cops killed this man. They were basically saying, listen, factors causing from the drugs, him not being able to breathe, having excited delirium. This is an asphyxiation. This is what caused him to be considered a homicide. So whoever gave him this PCP, it was a homicide. Well, you know how it's going now. Now the families have made a big deal about it because even after they released the video, saying the police is negligent, saying that the police went up here and and, and killed their brother, all this stuff, and now you got 7 police officers no longer on the force right now, suspended with pay, could be fired. This is what I'm talking about. Again, another example of another family. Like I said, once again, rest in peace to Daniel. Before I get into this, rest in peace to Daniel Pruden. I feel bad for his family for what they're going through, but I'm just tired of the narrative where people are not taking accountability for what their loved ones has done. If your loved ones is on drugs, being combative, got a weapon or anything like that, you cannot go out here and always want to blame the police. The police 9 times out of 10 are doing their job. Their job is to make sure that everybody goes home safely. That is the narrative. But nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to see that. Now, I don't know if they got the officers' names. I'm finna look up on the report now for y'all and let y'all know what is being said. I had it pulled up here. Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone and see if they got these names yet released. But I know the 7 officers are suspended. All right, I gotta pull it up. All right, give me one moment here. All right, here we go. So let me tell you what the media is saying about the situation. So the suspensions come a day after attorneys for Prude's family released the police body video. And when they usually tell you you can release it after somebody doing outrage like that, it's due to the fact of the matter they feel confident that they didn't do anything wrong. When you look at the video, you can tell they didn't. They did everything by protocol. Now, his brother Joe is talking about how many people have to die. Well, here's the thing, Joe and family of Daniel Prude. Again, I'm sorry for your loss. But if you look at these cases, okay, when a person is acting erratically in their own drugs, they're not in their right mind. They are going to be combative. They're going to struggle with anybody that's trying to restrain them. Now, knowing your brother being combative as he was, the way I'm looking, the way I'm seeing in the footage in the video, he's spitting and slobbering, acting crazy. There's so many ways he could have got asphyxiation. He could have went and put a lot of that cloth around and cough on it, or because there's a mouth guard that's attached to that cloth that's supposed to keep you from spitting. He could have went up there. He could have messed and swallowed that. Yep, you're right. You're right, real patriot. Exactly. You know, there's so many things that could have had an example with him not being able to breathe. You got to remember too, he was on this PCP. PCP is a very strong drug, and when you got excited delirium from PCP, a lot of people that's been on PCP will tell you it got your heart rate racing. There's a lot of things that you do that you normally don't do. Now, there was a report in 2015 that showed that those people that were shot and killed by the police had mental illness, or 9 times out of 10, which they're not putting in these reports on liberal news, they were on some type of drug, some kind of recreational drug. So when you highlight this, you're not going to think in your right mind. But what's probably going to happen is, once again, the media is going to twist this as it's the police officer's fault. They're gonna go. They're gonna make these people life a living hell. They're gonna demand the release of the names. They're gonna demand that these people get charged. They're gonna demand, 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 demand. And I just think that this is why I made my rant today. That the blue lives are get blue. The men in blue and the women in blue are getting a really shitty deal now. It seems like when they do their job, based upon what is being seen, what they are trained to do, they're at fault. It's like everybody wants the police to die just so their loved ones can live. That's not how that works, guys. A police officer is trained to annihilate the threat. You ever heard of the term protect and serve? They're not only are supposed to protect the community, they're supposed to protect themselves so they can continue to protect and serve. Everybody's got a family in this situation. Am I correct? Yes, they do. Everybody does. With that being said, when your loved one is high off their mind, got a weapon in their hand, or being combative with the police, or fighting the police and trying to get physical with them, guess what? That policeman got every right to use whatever force within reason to stop them as a threat. It's no more, oh, the police officer supposed to just take it and hope for the best. That has never been It's never been the case. But you want to know why so many police officers now are turning in their badge and walking away because they're tired. They're tired of trying to do the right thing, and in the end of the day, they get the shit into the stick. I mean, that's just what's happening. And I don't care what anybody say. All this to fund the police, do this and do that is not going to help because at the end of the day, all you're going to get is nothing but chaos. Now, What makes me mad about this whole situation with these protesters, they act before getting all the facts. They'll riot, they'll tear up stuff. Like the DC shooting, the DC police incident with Deon K. Deon K. Everybody swear out this kid had no weapon on him. He was shot in the back in the park for no reason. Video get released. Deon K had a gun. He pulled out the gun on the police. But you got people like Benjamin Crump, you know, I'm gonna the Black Lives Matter lawyer chasers that bust out and say, wait a minute, uh he pulled out a gun, but he didn't fire. What do you mean he didn't fire? He pulled out a gun. If you pull out a gun in front of an officer that has a gun, guess what? He's not going to tase you when you pull out a gun. He's not going to pepper spray you when you pull out a gun. He's going to shoot your ass when you pull out a gun. That's common sense. It's like no one uses common sense in these situations. But yet still, everybody wants to walk away with no problem, no issue, hugs and kisses. No. And what makes it even worse is we got these leaders, these politicians, these Democratic mayors, these liberal mayors, yeah, I'm going to call you out, and these liberal governors of these states don't want to stand up for the men in blue. They want to throw them to the wolves. Yeah, they're wrong. They didn't do it right and put them away. Okay. So you mean to tell me that when they did their job the way they are trained to do, you can't stand up and be like, nah, not on my watch. My officers is going to still stay where they're going to stay. Oh, I forgot. You got to make sure you protect your political platform. It's BS. And then not to mention the last one, Dijon Kizzee. Yeah, I'm going to talk about him in Los Angeles. Everybody was up in arms about this guy got shot in Los Angeles in protest and tearing up stuff in the cities. But guess what? What came to light again? The dude was running from the cops, committing a bicycle violation, punched the cop in the face, turned around, ran, dropped a semi-automatic out of his possession, had a semi-automatic in his possession, and he got shot. And then when he did got shot, everybody want to play like he's innocent. No, that's not how that works. We got to quit glorifying criminals to replace police brutality. This is why we are not going to have no police soon. We're not going to have none. Nobody ain't going to want to do it. We're going to be a lawless land. We got to stand up and do the right thing. I'm just being real. If you can't stand up and do the right thing, then you'll fall for anything. And that's just facts, man. Real fucking facts. So enough with me and my spiel about that. I'm gonna move right on to the next situation. Let's talk about Nancy Pelosi. Oh, Nancy. So not only is Nancy experiencing drama with the salon incident, she's also got some other things she's got to deal with that's coming back to bite her in the butt. The uh, Republican Party wants to charge her for criminal contempt when she did the State of the Union stunt of tearing up President Trump's State of the Union address out of anger. Now, Nancy thought that when she did that, that she was going to be possibly not be in touch with or mess with on this issue. Well, Nancy gave them another uh, injection when she did what she did at that salon to motivate them to push these charges on them. Now, the two House GOP leaders are called on Attorney General William Barr to determine whether House Speaker Nancy Pelosi broke federal law when she ripped up the President Trump's State of the Union speech earlier this year. She said she tore it up because she was trying to find one page of truth. And you know her and Trump have been beefing since he got elected. It always has been. They don't have no love for each other, which I don't blame him because the stuff that she does, she say one thing and does another. Now they saying that she could be in violation of a code called 18 USC section 2071, which deals with the mutilation of an official federal record and set a penalty of destroying documents of up to 3 years in prison. Damn, I didn't know you could go to prison for that. So that's what they basically saying. So they definitely talking about uh pushing her forward. Now they saying that the fact checkers, you know how they is, swear out that she can't be touched because a speech is in no legal document. But who knows at this point of the game? As many enemies as Nancy Pelosi has made when it comes to her brassness against the president, I wouldn't doubt it if the Republican Party nail her behind to the wall. And I think she do need it. Maybe that'll teach her to show some respect and quit acting like a little 3-year-old child. Because unfortunately, that's what she's doing right now when she done got caught up with this salon. Don't take accountability. That's the move that they do over there. So I'm also going to talk about another issue that came out today. Speaking of weird stuff, there was a lady named I want to say Jessica A. Krug. Now, if you don't know who Jessica Krug is, she's been all over Twitter about appropriating black culture. Now, if you don't know what appropriating means, that means basically somebody who is actually another nationality, but changes their way of look or dress to look like another nationality. Example given what Jessica Krung did. Jessica Krung, who is Jewish and white, did everything she could. She got herself an extra tan. She put extensions in her hair. She did everything she could to make herself look like a mulatto black woman. Now, this actually worked for her favor for a long period of time. Got her far. She got an associate degree, became a professor at a college, and was actually well popular at this college. But finally, in a blog post, she decided to talk about what she has done and how guilty she felt. It was called "The Truth in the Anti-Black Violence of My Lives." Now, this thing is long. I'm going to try to give y'all a link to what she said. She never gave a real reason why she did what she did. Me myself, I can tell you why she did it. She doing just like Rachel Dolezal did, and Sean King is currently doing right now. She felt like in her mind that she could not make it in her culture as a Caucasian, so she felt like the best route was to pass off as black so she could have better opportunities for herself. This is like the new thing now that's been coming out slowly. Now, do I feel like that it's a slap in the face for black Americans? Yeah, it is. Because at the end of the day, why can't you just be honest and say you just like the culture and you like dressing like the culture instead of passing like something that you're not? That makes people question your integrity. Not only your integrity, but it also makes you very untrustworthy. So that's like me going out here bleaching my skin, getting straight hair, and try to pass off as a white American when really I'm black. That's exactly appropriating the culture. So I never could understand that. I don't know why they do that. I've never been a big fan of that. I'm like this: if you be who you are, that's all you got to do. Be who you are at the end of the day, and you have nothing to worry about. I think if people would constantly be on that, I think they'll be a-okay. That is a major problem in the world today. People always trying to be something they're not. So yeah, so I will put the link in the description. If you follow me on YouTube, you can look it up. It's a long letter. I don't even want to read it because it's sad. Just like Sean King, who, like I said before, passing off as a light-skinned black man who wrote a book and turned around and used Black Panther's death, aka Chadwick Boseman, saying that I know you guys are hurting right now, but hey, come check out my book. But swear out that he didn't do anything wrong and it wasn't distasteful. Yes, it is distasteful, dude. A, a man just died. You want to use a man's death to promote your book? Come on, bro. That's weak. That's so weak. But hey, I guess that's what you got to do to survive, right? It is what it is. So let's get back to the meat and potatoes. I want to talk about Trump. What Trump has done for us lately. Let's talk about what my boy is on right now. So Trump made a campaign stop at Arnold Palmer Airport in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Got a lot of love. Talked about how he was going to make everything good for the country like he normally do, because that's what he does. He is still talking about defunding these countries and everything else. Now, here's another thing that nobody's not talking about. Remember, I put in a tweet today. I don't know if y'all guys follow me on Twitter. I put in a tweet today about the situation about everybody saying that Black Americans are putting out there, these Black Lives Matter supporters, that there are Black Americans oppressed in America. Remember, I put a tweet out that said, if you feel oppressed, I want you to look at what's going on in Iran with the 27-year-old champion wrestler who has been sentenced to death, and along with his brother has been sentenced to 27 years, and his cousin been sentenced to, his other brother been sentenced to some years as well, and they got 74 lashings. Like time when they got sentenced, they get whipped with the lashings immediately. But people over here talking about they oppressed. Well, guess what Donald Trump's doing? He is asking for them to spare his life. But I don't know if they're going to listen to Trump, because you know Iran is still pissed off with what he did to their general. So I don't know. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. Now the Human Rights Activist News Agency is trying to get involved with it too, but now they is torturing this dude so bad they got him with a plastic bag over his head and pouring alcohol into his nostril. So that's how serious it is. Yeah, that's how serious it is over there. But again, like I said before, like I said, I served my country. I've been over there in all these places: Kuwait, Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Iran, in Iraq. Again, y'all keep talk. People keep talking about they oppressed. Go over there in those countries and protest and see what happens. That's all they did was protest, and they wasn't even violent protests. They were peaceful protests. And now he's sentenced to death. But y'all over here talking about y'all oppressed. Y'all ain't got no opportunities. Y'all being hunted by the cops. Okay, go over there now. I'm just saying. See how that feels for you. I see. Oh man. All right, so let me go finish this up here with the last part of the night, and then I'm gonna give y'all my take, because me and my wife is still trying to get things settled from selling earlier. So I am going to talk about um what's going on with what's his face. Man, I done lost my train of thought. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to get it together. I'm trying to get it together now. I had lost my train of thought from it. Yes, there you go. Let me talk about Jacob Blake Sr. So remember when I told y'all last night that Jacob Blake Sr. did not want to meet with Trump when he was in town because of his lawyer, right? Because basically he wanted to meet with Trump, but he wanted his lawyer there, and Trump turned it down because it looked like it was all a publicity stunt, basically for the extreme left to have something to boost their campaign. I guess you know how they get down. Well, you know what's interesting? He met with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris on the campaign trail day without his little lawyer. Isn't that amazing? So you can meet with the president, hope the presidential candidate and the vice president candidate without a lawyer, but you can't meet with the president without a lawyer. Don't you think that's the person you want to meet with? Is the president, the man who has the power to like get things done with your son's situation? I mean, your son is paralyzed from the waist down. This guy do got a lot of juice. He could pull some strings and get things, a little easier for the young man. Maybe get him, the help he needs. Maybe try to, be a hero in your time of need. Exactly, Bubble. It is. It's ridiculous. I've never seen nothing like that. Who does that? Your kid is hurt. Your son is hurt. You don't talk to the president by yourself. You want to be extra, but you want to talk to the president candidates. So what happens if they don't win? You know they're gonna forget you, right, Jacob Blake Sr. I just want you to know, as soon as they don't win, your son that's laying up there paralyzed, trying to recover, they ain't gonna pay no attention to him. And by the way, you know that $2 million GoFundMe that y'all already got collected for his expenses or for your son, you're not gonna see a lot of that money, right? You know that money's gonna be controlled by Benjamin Crump in the game. I'm just letting you guys know. I'm just saying. I'm just speaking back. Don't call that. I mean, that's what the people got to understand. Everything is not always what they seem. Just being real about it. But getting back to what I was saying, I think that was just so distasteful. It really was. I mean, I would have met with the president. That's just my thing. So you got Como threatening the president basically whenever he found out the president was taking funding from his city for these more cops. His thing was if Trump ever visits New York, he better come with an army. I know y'all heard about that. Well, Cuomo swear out that he wasn't threatening the president, but that sounded like a threat to me. I mean, if somebody tells me that after I told them I'm going to take their funding from their police officers because they're not doing the right thing for the city, and you say something like that, that's a threat. I'm sorry, you can say what you want to. He said it was because most New Yorkers don't like Trump. Dude, have you seen the polls lately? Have you? Maybe y'all don't be on the internet like that, but if you go on the internet and you talk on social media and ask people how much do they love Trump, you can see it. I did it. I did a little poll for fun with somebody that I'm friends with on Twitter, and you know that 67% of the people they polled, just random people, all pulling for Trump. You got silent voters out there that's not saying anything that also likes Trump. I mean, man, y'all don't understand. This is real. The Trump mania is real. I don't know why people keep sleeping on it. It is very real. That's why he's going to win again. And last but not least, I'm going to give y'all some good news, and then I'm going to bounce out. Some good news is that Chadwick Boseman, the gentleman that played Black Panther, his hometown of South Carolina, uh, is current in South Carolina is currently looking to get him a statue to honor him because of all the good works he's done. This guy was a legendary actor. Unfortunately, he only lived on this earth for 43 years. Now, if you didn't know anything about Chadwick Boseman, before Chadwick Boseman was the superstar that he was before he became thought about being an actor. He used to play. He was a very good basketball player for Hannah L High School. And reason why I know about this is because that's near my area where I'm from. Uh, Chadwick also at that age, I think he was around about 16 or 17, wrote his first screenplay. His first screenplay. Like he just sat down and wrote about a classmate of his getting killed got killed by a gun. Somebody shot his classmate, that his teammate on the basketball team. And it broke his heart. And he sat down and he wrote a whole screenplay about it. And that screenplay was so good that that currently, right here, right now, that screenplay is being played across the country. It's been like that for the last couple of years. I mean, that's just how good that screenplay was. So he was a very talented guy. Now he died of colon cancer. He had it for 4 years, never told anybody about it. So with that being said, colon cancer is very high in the black community. So, and it's also high in men too, not only just in the black community, but just men in general. So I like to tell all men out there, especially that's about to be approaching 40 or in their late 30s, you know, definitely get yourself checked out because you never know. Because this thing, he didn't know until it was on stage 3, and that's the last thing you want to deal with is having colon cancer. It's like it drains the life out of you. It really does. But they're also going to release one of his other movies too. The Jackie Robinson movie is going to be re-released in theaters as well. I don't know when, but it's supposed to be soon. So I'm definitely um going to be looking forward to viewing that if I could view it on my TV since this COVID-19 got everything almost closed down still and nothing closed open up. So that is all the news I got for y'all tonight. If y'all enjoyed the show, please, again, every donation help. Please donate to the Cash App, $ Joshua Joel Davis. Again, $ Joshua Joel Davis. If you cannot donate to the Cash App, if you can give me some superstars over here on Periscope, please do. That also helps me as well. That'll make me into a super broadcast channel if I get 185,000 stars. So either way it goes, thank you guys for all the love and support. I cannot wait to talk to you guys again soon. All right. And until then, y'all stay blessed and stay focused.